Hi, Erik. I'm back again. This is part 2 of our mindfulness series. So in the first part of the mindfulness series, we talked about the distinction. We got all the way up to understanding that you are not your thoughts. Now that we understand that, let's go into the difference, the distinction between attachment and non-attachment. The happiest, most successful, most fulfilled and blissed out people you know think negative thoughts. They're not blissed out because they don't think the negative thoughts. They're blissed out because they know what to do with negative thoughts. So here's the problem. When we have a negative thought, we don't get into trouble because we thought it. We get into trouble because we latch onto it and we go for the full ride. We give it its full life. That's where we get into trouble. Not because we had a negative thought, because we attached to it. Don't attach to those negative thoughts. So if attachment is the enemy, what's the solution? What's the cure? What's the good part here? The good part is, let's talk about non-attachment. Non-attachment is a process, a concept that states that when I have a negative thought, I have a choice as to whether or not I attach or practice non-attachment, and not attaching to it looks something like, oh, I have a choice. Do I want to attach to this or do I want to practice non-attachment? And when you put that choice in front of you, it makes so much more sense to say, no, I don't want to attach to this. If you've ever heard of the old adage for an angry person, the adage is, never say a word in anger until after counting to 10. Well, there's nothing magical about counting to 10. There's something very magical about placing something between stimulus and response. You're putting choice between stimulus and response. And non-attachment is very similar to that. We're putting non-attachment between stimulus and response. And again, we're not acting out of default, we're being deliberate, okay? So you deliberately practice non-attachment. When I have a new theory that seems promising, I put it to the test. And if it doesn't work for me, I'm not confident sharing it with my clients. Well, this worked for me. The experiment that I performed was on my dogs. I used to get very frustrated with my dogs barking. Well, I read this book and learned about non-attachment and waited for the dogs to bark. And guess what? They did. And please hear this. I was already halfway too upset when I said, whoa, time out. That's right, we're practicing non-attachment now. Instead of fully investing myself, instead of fully attaching myself to frustration about the dogs barking, I'm going to practice non-attachment. And wow, could it really be that simple? And I wonder what's for lunch. And all of a sudden, I'm just going on with my day because I practiced non-attachment. I could have attached again. I could have got upset at the dogs. I could have been frustrated. I could have gone to anger. I could have gotten silly again. But I practiced non-attachment. You may be thinking right now, could it really be that simple? And guess what? It's really that simple. Non-attachment. Try it. It works. If you like this video, I've got a lot more on my website, and I've got a free 20-minute phone consultation, and I'd love to hear from you. Thanks.